Hello Tubers and Gamers, he's back, and it is a pickup video. It's a relatively small pickup video, but there are some retro goodies, and so it's I guess it's a case of quality over quantity. As before, let's always start off with vinyl of the month. I tend to have quite a backlog of vinyl which I'm not shown, so I think I probably got this before Christmas, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, I've got to show it to you guys. It is the Resident Evil 7 The Village soundtrack. It's on 2 discs, and it's heavyweight black vinyl. Really good soundtrack. Fantastic game, as you all know. And I've been collecting all the Resident Evil ones from 1 up to 4, and then all the sort of ones from Resident Evil 7 onwards, I think I've been doing. But I think 5 and 6, I think I pretty much skipped on that, because they're okay games, but they're not really up there, are they? Whereas Resident Evil 7 and 8 and the remakes are fantastic, aren't they? Anyway, that's the vinyl. Moving on to other non-gaming format. I've got one VHS tape to show you guys. I bought this a couple months ago. I've got to show it. It is a really one of the trashy, cheesy sci-fi movies that came out in 1984, and this is roughly a time of the unclassified videos. You know, there's not almost video nasty, some of them might have been, but also I think the law changed to include videotapes. I think it was 84, 85. But just before then, a number of videotapes did get a film classification, but it may have been based on the cinema release, and so and not all films got a cinema release, and so that's why you got a lot of tapes of that era that may have no official classification. And so, but then some did, but it was based on the movie classification, you know, a cinema classification as opposed to a VHS classification. Anyway, one of the publishers that we all know that brought out a lot of these videos was obviously Medusa. And so I've got one Medusa tape here, which I wanted to get as a sign of nostalgia and history, but also get one before they became stupid money. Ginger Hippie Gaming has done a series of fantastic videos based on his and colleagues' discovery of an old media store that was been pretty much untouched for decades, and that has loads of hidden gems all from the 80s, and there's loads of Medusa tapes it's part of that collection. I don't know if this film was actually one of them, but featured, but this is one I got off of eBay anyway for a really good price. It comes with a sort of oversized rental tape box. It is Medusa. It's not too bad a condition. There was a slight bit of tape rot, but I've sort of remedied that by putting it through my VHS player a few times, fast forwarding it and rewinding it. Not playing it, but fast forward it and rewind it a few times, and played it back, and it was fine after that. And also I put some of those little silica crystal sachets in the packaging with it to help prevent further damage, hopefully. But anyway, this movie is Exterminators of the Year 3000. Look at that cheesy cover. There's a YouTube channel called Cult Cinema Classics, and you can actually see this film for free if you're interested. It is like a bit of a Mad Max clone of sorts. It's not as violent, of course, as Mad Max, but it's okay. It's not a horror movie. It is, you know, just a sci-fi adventure, post-apocalyptic adventure. Not a bad movie. It's well worth watching on YouTube. I think you can only get American release on Blu-ray, which is stupidly expensive, as well as a DVD, or I think you might be able to get a German release of this, but that's under a slightly different title. But I will want to get a, I hope at some point, a bona fide Blu-ray release of this at some point. But I've already seen it on eBay anyway, I've got it saved. But Cult Cinema Classics, guys, check out that channel, because that channel has got hundreds of movies, really obscure movies. Many include big actors as well. They're not all, you know, B movies. Both horror, sci-fi, westerns, all sorts of vintage cinema. And it's all got all the complete movies, including many cheesy horror movies. So by all means, Cult Cinema Classics Guide, look for that if you're interested. Save it to your list. Spend an hour going through the back catalogue and saving the you know, the movies for you to watch later, because that's what I've done. I've created a separate favourites channel just for those old movies, and there's probably about 100 movies I've got on there to watch when I want to. Anyway, I digress. Gaming related. Analog. If you've got an analog Super NT, which is a SNES player, and you want to play your NES games, you can. You don't have to get an analog NES machine, whatever they're called again. Was it APS? No, that's another one. Anyway, you don't need to get one of the super expensive analog NES machines. There's a roundabout, and I say roundabout in the sense that you can get one of these RetroPort adapters that basically just plug into your SNES slot on your analog machine. You do have to connect the TV and audio and video output from this cartridge directly into the sort of composite sockets of your TV though. So you do need to do that. And I find that every time you change the cartridge on the game, you need to turn it off the system and restart it every time you change the cartridge. Otherwise, you won't get the picture of the NES game. So you do need to turn it on, you know, the machine on and off every time you change the cartridge for that to work. But it does work. Obviously, it's not you know, high definition quality or anything, and you don't get the functionality of the analog machine on those NES games, but it is a way of playing it. So you can get these cheap enough off AliExpress. I think it was about 15 to 20 quid or whatever it was. So you can get those. So if you want to be able to play NES games from your analog devices, that's one way of doing it, without having to buy an analog NES machine, which are really expensive these days. Okay, although there's obviously many other ways of playing those games. We're going to do modern games and we're going to do vintage, just keep things interesting that way around, okay? One modern game, Forza Motorsport 7, the Steelbook edition. I've been looking out for this from CEX forever. I've seen so many YouTubers pick them up for, you know, for 15 quid or whatever. But my CEX as well, whenever I go one, they never have them in. I'm becoming impatient and eventually bit the bullet and I just ordered one off eBay. It was about £22, so it's a bit more than the £15 CEX price, but at least I've got it. Saying that now, I'll probably see it in CEX now, won't I? You know, sod's law. I mean, it's only about 8 Xbox One games I want to get. There's only a few, but there's, you know, there's a few exclusives like that I'm after. This I got for a tenner from CEX. It's just Forspoken on the PS5. I already had a Steelbook, which my game gave to me, my local game months and months ago gave to me when I asked them if they had any Steelbooks they didn't want, and they just give them away. So that's complete. This was reduced in CEX to a really good price, about £9. God Eater 3. I think it's a bit of a first-person beat-em-up type, hack and slash type game. As part of my PSVR collection, I already had the standard version of this, but I didn't have the PSVR version, and that's Minecraft. I'm keeping that all sealed because I'm never going to play it in VR, but it's this part of my PlayStation VR collection because I am going for a full PlayStation VR collection, and it's only about number 2 games I've got to get, I think. Well, it's about number 3 limited ones I've got to get, so probably about 5 games I've got to get on the original PSVR. Not too sure if I'm going to collect the PSVR 2 games, even though there's not that many physical ones. But we'll see. Okay, on the Master System, another classic shooting type game, Forgotten Worlds. A lot of people may have this on the Genesis, which is the better port, but it's still good on the Master System. I can't remember what I paid for that, it wasn't a lot. I think it was roughly around 20. This was about £12 with postage. I couldn't believe I didn't have already had this. I've got the Taz Escape from Outer Space, what it's called, but there is the original Tasmania. Yeah, just to complete my Taz collection on the Mega Drive. Okay, save those to last. On the NES, I got one repro cart with a universal case, and this is Robocop 3. Now, Robocop 3 came out on the SNES in Europe, but it didn't come out on the NES. America got a release, and I guess Japan got one on the Super Famicom, but we did not get this in Europe, which is really unfair. Saying that, it's not a fantastic game, but still it would be nice to have it. I was looking at getting a cart only from America, but there's not that many that come up, and they're usually about, by the time you pay for shipping and everything else, they're usually about £60–70 just for a cart. To get a complete and box one, you're probably looking at £200. I wasn't going to pay that sort of money for this game, so I just got a repro cart for, including the shipping, £14 from AliExpress. And these days the NES carts, repro carts, are really good quality. Fantastic print work, and they got proper whatever they call tri-ring, no, not tri-ring, proper NES screws that go into the cartridge. The quality, they really up their game on the quality of the repro carts, so that's what I've done. So cheap and cheerful. As always, I always put a little repo stick on the back of my universal cases when I've got a repro cart in it. But like I said, I do love these black, blackish grey universal cases with really good print art from the Cover Project. That's where I get them from. Also from the Cover Project, I've got another 4 SNES games, all in nice little matching artwork boxes. There are 2 repros here and 2 original carts. One original cart, which was about £20 from CX, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. I've got this complete and boxed in the Mega Drive, but I never had it on the SNES. And to get the cart only for 25 quid, that's still a good price from CX. I think to get the game complete, you're probably looking at about £100 mark. Then also, again, I got the cartridge, I think from eBay for about, I think it was about £35–40 delivered. It's quite an uncommon game, this is, but Terminator. I've had Terminator 2 and Terminator Arcades and everything else like that. It's easy enough to get, or Robocop vs Terminator, you can always get those. But this original, the first Terminator on the SNES, it's pricey. To get one complete in box, you're probably looking at about 150 to 200. 2 months ago, I did see one sell for 90 quid complete in box, which I've always sort of kicked myself for not getting. But a cart only, you are looking at least 40 quid minimum, really. So I think that's what I paid for this one. But it looks good in the universal case anyway, obviously. Okay. Another game I wanted, but I weren't going to pay. I think this cartridge alone is quite expensive. I think it's probably close to £100 mark. And that's Captain Commander. So again, I went for another repro from AliExpress. Again, really good quality repro. You know, proper SNES screws and and everything else, and good artwork. So yeah, and also another one I got, Final Fight 3, a repro cart in the universal case. Final Fight 3, guys, if you don't know, is super expensive. Cart only, you're looking probably at about £150. That's it, whether it's PAL or Japanese. And to get complete and box, you're probably looking at between £250 and £300 easily for that game. So I'm not going to pay that price for that. So a repo cart would do me. But I did manage to get the first 2 games original, complete and box on the Super Famicom. So I've got Final Fight, all complete in box, nice little box protector. I got that for £20. I know a lot of people say, well, you really want to get Final Fight Cody. Well, yeah, but they're not cheap. You're looking at about 80 quid for that complete in box Super Famicom game. So £20 just for the first one without Cody, I can live with that, because let's face it, I play this game on my Retron Retro Freak, or more likely now my Super NT, and I've got the I've soft modded it or whatever, so I can play the ROMs, so I can play Final Fight Cody on that easily. So just to have a physical copy, that will do me for 20 quid. And then the second one, I think I got this for about 30, Final Fight 2, complete in box. Another really nice box, but why on earth the third game is so expensive? And they couldn't have sold many, that's all I can think. The last two games to show you guys I got from Surugaya. It's that Japanese store that does often have free shipping. And when you look on their English website, even though it's a Japanese store, they do have an English website. Often they have the same game released in different conditions. Some might be complete in box, some may not be, some may be scuffed. I got this one that's supposed to be described as in complete but poor condition, but actually it arrived in in complete and good condition, and that's probably because Japanese games tend, Japanese retailers tend to, they have much higher standards of their games, and so what we consider to be fantastic, they'll think was average, and what we consider to be okay, they'll consider to be trash. So basically, this is all complete. I got Super Ghosts and Goblins, and this was described as complete in box. Raiden Denetsu. You can also get this, I think it's also called Raiden Triad, I think it might be, on other systems. I got these both, with including shipping, £60. I thought that's pretty good for these two games. Pretty good from Surugaya. So I do recommend their website. Not all the games are cheap, you do have to shop around sometimes, but sometimes you can get good deals from there. Okay guys, that's all my pickups. Hope you liked it. I think there's a few interesting ones there. As always, take care of yourself, and until next time,